What's up, you guys? Wouldn't you know it, there's two people that have just been shot in Kenosha, two people dead, and a third person shot in the arm because his dumbass wanted to take a skateboard to a gunfight. But man, there's so much information on this. So 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse is being charged with murder, two murders. And this kid is a 17-year-old high school student that was in Kenosha from Wisconsin, and he decided to interject and put himself into the violence. Now, like I said, so many things I can say about this video. From what I can tell, first of all, it looked like self-defense because he was running from the angry mob. He was running from them. So just so you guys, all you guys that show up and you say, yeah, I got my gun. I wish them some bitches would try that shit with me. I'll cap a couple rounds off. Well, guess what? He had a magazine of 30 rounds, and he was still running from that mob, running away from the mob. He knew that he was outgunned, outmatched, outnumbered, and it caught up to him. So literally a couple of the guys in the crowd that were chasing him caught up to him, hit him in the back of the head. Kyle stumbles, goes to the ground, and then they get on top of him. One guy tries to grab his gun. Now, if you're one of my students, I've already told you about this as far as grabbing the muzzle. He grabbed the muzzle and tried to pull the gun away from him. Well, the guy was wearing a sling, so you're not going to get the weapon away from somebody wearing a sling, and your only option is to move forward. He got shot. He was the first person to be dispatched, and then there was another guy shot, and then one guy was standing there with a gun, with a pistol, and I guess he was going to shoot, and the kid on the ground, Kyle, pointed his weapon towards him, and he just gave up. He got shot in the arm. So he got shot in the right elbow, and then everybody backed up when they realized shit was getting real. What do you guys think's gonna happen? Sooner or later, this shit is gonna get really bad. Now, Kyle was running around playing militia man. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It's our constitutional God-given right. Not our government-given right, our God-given right. But there is a portion of the sentence in the Second Amendment which states well-regulated. Well-regulated means he shouldn't have been running up and down the street by himself. Here's something that most people don't understand or realize. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. Okay, that's it. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. If Kyle's running around there playing soldier, he should have had somebody with him to help him. They were backing up and assisting law enforcement, and as they were doing that, they felt they were doing that. Kyle, I don't know what happened that he felt like he needed to start running up and down the street. If you're standing there protecting a business, a piece of property or infrastructure, then you should be there. You should show a force, present yourself as a hard target, and give a lot of verbal reinforcement. Now, what do I mean by verbal reinforcement? Bitch, I will shoot you if you tried to set my house on fire. I will canoe your head. That's verbal reinforcement. But it got really bad really quick. And it just goes to show that what 99% of the gun owners in this country think is, yeah, I got my gun. It's all I need. Got my dip. Got my dip, got my gun. I'm ready for shit to happen. And it's going to take more than that. Okay? You've got to train. You've got to train all the time. And something that I've been telling all of the students, either through my firearms training or martial arts classes, you can't take this lightly. You need to be training all the time. Now, I said this the other day to a couple of black belts, and I repeated myself 4 times, and they still smiled and just walked out the door. Just smiled at me and walked out the door. Didn't train, didn't take any of it to heat, just walked out the door like, okay, next time. And that is the problem. The problem is everybody always says, I'll do it next time. I'll do it later. And you may not have a later. You might be like this dude, Kyle Rittenhouse, and put yourself in a situation which you are not prepared for. Okay? Now I'm telling you, you guys, there's a lot more than just walking around with an AR-15 and a kit on. There's a lot more to that. The funny thing is, well, you know, you need to understand where your perimeters are. Your perimeters, not your parameters. Well, your parameters as well, but you need to understand your perimeters. Lines that you will not go past. Physical lines that you will not go past. You're here to protect a piece of property or people within that property or values, items of value within that property. Not going out in the street and trying to engage people. You're a 17-year-old kid, didn't look like he was very physical to me. I might be completely wrong. He might be a high school football stud, but he looks a little on the soft side, which tells me that the kid did not know how to fight. Here's my point. I'm always telling you 3 things that every man has to know. You better be in physical condition. You need to be in physical condition. You need to know how to fight. Every guy tells me, I know how to fight, man. I throw down. I took top kwando. I took hop kwando, taekwondo, MMA, and you don't. And you need to be proficient with firearms. Now, the person, as far as being able to fight, you need to be able to take a punch as well as throw a punch. What dropped Kyle to the ground yesterday? Getting struck in the back of the head. Probably going to drop anybody. But the more physically conditioned you are, the more difficult it's going to be for you to drop from a single fall or a single punch. You need to know that whenever you're throwing punches, you can deliver some mean power. Traumatizing power. Rattle their teeth kind of power. So, didn't look like he knew how to do that either. But, and you need to be proficient in firearms. He had a guy 3 feet from him and shot him in the elbow. Not in the torso, in the elbow. And I'm not sure about the others. I know the first guy that was shot, the one that actually tried to grab his weapon, he was shot in the chest. Didn't take long for him to die. 5.56 round hitting you at the chest at 3,300 feet per second. That's going to cause some damage. But the kid wasn't prepared. Okay? Now, in our nation's history, we've had people younger than that fight wars. But you can't be a candy ass all your life and play soldier and think now all of a sudden you're ready for the fight, because you're not. If those guys were coming into his home and he was defending his home, would have been a completely different situation. But guys, you need to understand, you need to be training all the time. This is going to get worse. The closer it gets to election day, the more this is going to happen. I hope it doesn't. Pray that it doesn't. But Michelle Obama's dog whistle was, if you want the violence to stop, then you better vote for Joe Biden. We all heard that during the Democratic National Convention when she spoke. If you want the violence to stop, then you better vote for Joe Biden. Sounds like a dog whistle to me. Those are veiled threats. But guys need to be prepared. You need to be training all the time. I mean, all the time. You can't be making excuses and saying, walking away and going, okay. It's got to happen all the time. You have a responsibility to your family. You might have a responsibility to your community. I know that I do. And it wasn't something that I signed up for, but I accept that responsibility. Matter of fact, our state just put us on another quarantine. And as such, our state is in a position where they can't even afford to buy PPE for the prisons. So I just took some bleach, some boxes of masks over to the prison and donated it. But Yep, it's going to get worse before it gets better. So you guys need to not make excuses. You need to be dry firing. You need to be involved in some unarmed combatives programs, and you need to be proficient and understand tactics. Anyway, this is Bob Smith. Keep your eyes on the news. Blood makes you related, but loyalty makes you family. Out.